Hey everyone, welcome back to Taking Back Monday. We are so excited you decided to start your week with us. I am so excited to introduce you to my new friend, Jim. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. And, what an amazing title for a podcast, Taking Back Monday. I was actually, it's a story of a conversation I just had with some team members. And we were talking about work-life balance. And the interesting thing about it is like we all agreed that work-life balance, like let's just demolish that whole concept in people's lives because why not just enjoy your whole life? Why does it have to be something that, I need this balance for something that, why not just love the work you do and love when you're at home with your family? Let's just talk about like loving life rather than this balance thing. So, and Taking Back Monday, and to everyone that's listening in, what a great concept. And Alyssa, I'm excited to be here.
Okay, I got to put a plug in. I did not tell him to say that, but he's 100% on board with what we are. He was not a plant, I swear.
That's right. I do not get paid for an endorsement of Taking Back Monday. I do believe in it.
It's exactly that, though. I think this idea of balance is the right idea, but maybe the wrong execution. There's so many people that I work with that they ruin their whole Sunday because the fact that tomorrow is Monday. And I'm kind of the opposite. I love the work that I do. So, how do we, in your opinion, get rid of balance and just make our entire lives, really the same thing? How do we take back Monday?
Yeah. So for me, I mean, I've had lots of ups and downs. I've been an entrepreneur now for over 15 years. And the times where I've felt most joy and the most satisfaction out of my personal life and my professional life has been when I've taken the time to think through the end and think through like, hey, what do I want my legacy to be? What do I want to stand for as a person? And I've taken down, I mean, this was since 2016, 2017, I've taken the time to write a personal vision, have a vision statement and, hey, like, what do I want out of my life? And then by asking those hard questions and taking the time to journal and write it out, that's really, in my opinion, the first step, because then you can look at it and say, okay, well, what fits and what doesn't? Is my job getting me closer to this, or is it getting me further away? And then how can I create a life that's really more designed on purpose rather than happenstance?
I think that's an important distinction because I believe a lot of people are saying, okay, if I just kind of do the corporate ladder thing and I'll go up the ladder and then eventually I'll be happy. Eventually when I'm the director, I'll be happy. When I get that VP role, I'll be happy. When I'm a millionaire, I'll be happy. Tell us a little bit more about your experience and mindset of when your career happens to you versus when you are intentional about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And gosh, that's such a deep insight, Alyssa. I appreciate you sharing that with us. And, it's interesting. The story that just popped into my head as you were saying that was, I had the opportunity after college to work for a self-made billionaire. And so pinnacle of business achievement. And as a 22-year-old kid, I was an intern. We were just inventorying his wine collection. Took 3 of us 2 full weeks to inventory this guy's wine collection. And at one point, I had $250,000 in my hands. So, I mean, that's how much wine this guy had. And as a 22-year-old, I was idolizing the private jet and everything that he had financially and the success he had. But I was with him for 2 weeks, and I was with him on a more intimate, personal setting because we were in his house inventorying his wine. And as I started to get to know him better, I realized, whoa, this guy's absolutely miserable. He has everything he can in his life, and yet his family just can't stand to be in the same room as him. And so, yeah, that whole concept of if this happens, then I'll be happy. If I make this sale, if I hit this goal, then I'll be happy. It's kind of a contradiction to just, hey, how do I be really happy now? How do I be hungry and motivated for the next level and completely satisfied with where I'm at the same time? And it is possible to do both, guys. It is possible to not feel miserable while you're on the climb, and just kind of take moments and to look around and enjoy the climb at the same time. So, I have ADD, guys, and I don't know if I actually answered your question, Alyssa. I apologize.
You
I went down
100%
a
did.
little
No,
bit
you
of a route of a ADD bunny trail there, but
yeah.
anyway, so get me back on track.
No, you're good. Jim, you will find that I also do. And so the listeners are very used to that. So you guys, you're in for a wild ride. You got two people who are very much neurodivergent.
Help us. No.
Help us. No, I think that that's really important. I'm in Iowa. And so right now, Caitlin Clark and all of the Iowa women's basketball team is the conversation, right? I don't know if I'm able to watch the game, to be honest with you. It's too stressful. But one of the quotes that I saw from that team recently was, you have to perform where your feet are. And like, just because I haven't taken the next step, just because I'm not at the pinnacle of where I'm trying to go, I have to perform at where my feet are, at where I'm currently at. And that's okay. And perform to the best of my ability rather than looking at, Caitlin Clark could have gone to UConn, right? No, She's at Iowa. She has to perform where her feet are.
Okay. So what's interesting about it is like being like the faith's important to me. So I read books on, different people and different people's journeys. And there's one that's been really impactful called He Leadeth Me by Walter Chizik. And Walter Chizik was a Jesuit priest that felt called to go preach and in Russia, and this was during the 1940s. And people weren't very open to a priest being in Russia trying to teach during World War II and preach to them, right? And he had everything stripped down in his life, all the way to where like the people that were with him, like going through the suffering that he was, wouldn't even talk to him because they found out he was a priest. And what he found in those moments was he had the expectation of, okay, this is what my life should be like. I'm doing this to make a difference in other people's lives. And, and then he realized, well, wait a second, that's just my expectation. The only thing I can really do is what I can do in the moment. And the only thing I'm really called to do from God is what I can do in the moment and to the best of my ability. So I know as us achievers, like you feel like, man, I need to be a good parent. And I feel called to grow this amazing business. And it's so easy to be at work when you're at home with your kids. And then when you're at home and then vice versa, when you're at work feeling guilty, like, man, I should be with my kids more. And I don't think we're like I think we put that on ourselves, and like we're really, and just like within our own expectations that, quite frankly, are unrealistic. Like I mean, how can you do more than what you can do in any given moment? Like we're human. We have great stuff about us. We're complex. We have other stuff that we struggle with, and we. It's just one great, big, amazing experience called life, right? So, and I had a hard time with that. Like one of the ways that I kind of got out of that was, and this is bad to share, or I'm a little embarrassed by it, but like I was so like at home, I was getting so fixated on work that I had to say, okay, well, I need to make this my goal to be a dad, to be a good husband. I would write down goals in the morning as if I was at work trying to achieve a goal, which was like, hang out with your kids and don't think about work or whatever, right? And but yeah, I mean, it like we can beat ourselves up so hard sometimes, and it's just not it's not necessary. It's not needed, like you can climb the ladder and be happy at the same time.
Yeah, I've always been a very entrepreneurial person, and I've always really enjoyed the work that I'm doing. I found it really, invigorating to be thinking about work and to be working all the time. And I had a wake-up call about 2 years ago when he would have been maybe 6 at the time, when my 6-year-old son came in, and it's like 9:00 at night and I am working. and he wants my attention for something. I'm like, no, buddy, I gotta do this thing right now. Like I'm in the middle of something. And he goes, Mom, do you ever think you'll have a normal job where maybe you can spend time with us? And I was just like, had that moment of just utter heartbreak, and I've gotten better. I'm still not perfect because my 4-year-old daughter, her favorite toy is like a toy laptop. And she'll sit there and she'll be like working on her laptop and I'll be trying to talk to her. And she'll be like, Mom, I am on a meeting. You cannot talk to me right now. And I'm like, I have 100% said that to her. And like, she's just kind of like holding up a tiny mirror to me. And it's one of those moments where, when my son said that to me and asked if I would ever have a normal job where I could spend time with him, and where my daughter's lecturing me on not talking while she's in a meeting, it's one of those moments where I didn't really like what I saw in what they were seeing in me, and not how I wanted them to grow up, not a healthy relationship. So I've also done the thing where I'm like, okay, I have to be much more intentional. Like, I still have to do my job and I'm still really excited and enjoying it, but I'm making sure that our weekends are weekends and our vacations are vacations. Because I was 100% the laptop, I'll take a meeting in the morning and we'll go to Disney World in the afternoon kind of a parent.
Yeah, absolutely. And now here you are.
And now here I am.
That's amazing.
We talked a little bit about finding the joy in where you are, but let's be honest, if you don't have the financial freedom to do that, if you're financially struggling or if money is hard to come by for you, it's going to be a little bit hard to find the joy in that grind. Tell us a little bit more about your experience with helping people find that financial freedom so that they can have the capacity to enjoy their day-to-day.
Absolutely. So, the first step is creating more income than what your expenses are. And if you're in the spot where you're not quite, you feel like you're worth more, you should be making more with the company that you're with. Givers are who end up making more money in this world. And if the employee mindset of, oh, well, I'm only going to pay someone what I'm worth. Or I'm sorry, I'm only going to work as hard as I get paid.
Right.
You might be able to like keep your job, but you're certainly not going to increase your income. And if you start to get into a headspace of, man, I'm going to try and generate 10 times the value that I get paid. And I'm not saying like it has to even be like 10, you're going to work more hours or anything like that, but like put in that extra effort within the time that you have. Say, I'm truly going to give. I'm going to give. I'm going to give. Then a couple amazing things happen. One, if you're with the right company, you'll get promoted and you'll start to make more money than what your expenses are. Or if you're with the wrong company that doesn't value that and you're giving more value, like America's amazing. Other opportunities will open up. And at some point, you'll be the person that can take advantage of an amazing opportunity to kind of to blow up your career in an amazing way and to kind of like grow it, right? So if you've already kind of figured that first foundational piece out, and you have the income coming in, you have a surplus. My background is investing in real estate. So we founded multiple real estate companies. I have 2 real estate funds that I manage as well, and we've done a ton of investment deals. And there's a whole lot there that we're not going to get into on what you can do there. The nice thing is if you can, I believe real estate is the best asset to invest in for financial freedom. I have not personally, I would invest in something else if I found something better. And there are active ways to do it and passive ways to do it. What holds a lot of people back are, well, I don't really want to be a landlord. I don't want to do all of the work. Well, if you're generating enough income, you can bring your capital as an investment and invest it into teams that are doing all the work for you. So passive income, if you do it on your own, is a lie. It's not passive income because you're doing a lot of work to open up a business and find a property and manage the property. And even if you hire a property manager, you have to manage that property manager. And if they do something wrong, you have to fire them, find somebody else. And there's a whole lot of work that goes into that. But there's also ways to just invest with teams. You can lend money on investment deals. That's called private lending. You can invest into real estate funds, and there's just a variety of different things that you can do, and you can even take IRA money and invest in real estate. A lot of people don't know that either, but when we talk about like enjoying our whole life, um, uh, real estate can be tricky because on the surface, I think everybody loves that passive income idea on the surface, and they get it. Oh, I'm financially free if I have more income than my expenses, and then like, but if you do it in a way that's like, okay, I'm going to invest, and then I'm going to create another part-time job, or full-time job, depending on how much effort you put into it. And hey, family, we'll be okay. We'll be happy once we're financially free, and we'll hang out once we have time to do that. But I don't have time now because I'm doing a property flip, and I'm working weekends. I'm working nights on this whole real estate thing and the side hustle. That's a big thing, is the side hustle right now. But there's like you just don't have to do that if you learn how to invest in a passive way. It can be powerful. I mean, our team's created many financially free individuals that literally spend, I don't know, 10 minutes a year, and they're making more money than 95% of real estate investors out there that are doing all the work. So it's a neat thing. And I, like the lesson I learned from working from that billionaire is that we just need to measure our success by what we gave up to get it. And to me, it's like, yeah, I would love to have that billionaire achievement, the financial freedom. That sounds amazing. And it has been amazing. But like I'm just not going to give up everything. I'm not going to give up my life. And, I'm not willing to sacrifice everything. And, so there's great ways. There's ways to become financially free without taking on another job. There's ways to, there's ways to enjoy the whole life and take back Monday.
And take back Monday. I want to come back to something you said in the middle that really struck me, and I've never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
But measuring your success by what you had to sacrifice to get it.
Yeah.
Like that, I think, is really profound. I'm currently reading The Dip by Seth Godin. And it's literally about that, the idea that, quitters never win and winners never quit, right? And his whole thesis is that winners quit all the time. Winners quit the things that aren't going to turn out for them. Winners quit the things that they don't have enough passion for to truly be the best in the world at. Mm-hmm. And so the idea that you have to decide what you're going to give up, what you're going to sacrifice, and what you're not willing to sacrifice. Because I think you mentioned earlier, your priorities are God first, then family, then career, right? Mm-hmm. And having that order to help you make those decisions of, if my family is truly first, am I making the choices around, family over work? Or am I putting my career first in my order?
And there's, what's interesting is it's very rare, like the actual tactics of something, at least in real estate, like, are what slow people down. It's all like the hidden stuff. And I think that's probably true in most professions. Like a lot of people will like ask me, oh, well, what type of investment deal should I do? Or should I do Airbnbs, or should I do apartment complexes? And one of the big things that holds people back, in my opinion, is just not having clarity. And we say, oh, well, I'm procrastinating, or I'm not sure if I should do this deal or not. And like when you take the time to just get crystal clear on what you want, the actual like tactics on what you should do, it gets a lot easier. Like, and that uncertainty and that doubt, and like you know what to go after because you've decided what you want your life to be about. And it just can provide a lot of additional confidence too. Hey, I'm doing the right thing right now. I can't control it, but I'm going to do my best effort. And right here, right now, this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm going to play this game with where my feet are right now. I really like that, Alyssa. And I'm not going to be anxious about it. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to do the best I can. And whatever happens with life is going to be what happens with life. I can't control that.
Agreed. So Jim, if someone is really connecting with you, they want to learn more about, how to build passive wealth or all of the other things that we talked about today, where can they find you online?
Yeah, so the best place is jimmanning.com. So if you remember my name, jimmanning.com, that will connect you. I have a couple free courses. Like we generated over $10 million in passive income the last couple of years with 3 strategies. So I have a free course on what the strategies were, what you can do, and if you want to actively do it, great. If you want to kind of invest through or find a team to invest through, kind of show you how to do that too. And and then there's, if you want to talk to us, there's if you just fill out the web form, you'll get the course that we have. And then also just, put your number in there and put in a little note on what you'd like to talk about. And either myself or a team member can reach out and we can connect and see how we can help you. So jimmanning.com. And then also if you want to just listen to some more passive wealth stuff, I have a podcast called Passive Wealth Show. That's on YouTube. And, you kind of find me there, but I appreciate it. Thanks so much for your time. And I just love it. I love the thought of having as many people as we possibly can take back Monday and enjoy their whole life, enjoy the whole ride, not just part of the ride.
Exactly. And the last question we always ask our guests is, who else out there is really taking back Monday? Who else should we be talking to or listening to?
There's a ton out there. So Dr. Selk wrote a book. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on you? So guys, she even preps me on these questions, and you wouldn't think I would blank on Dr. Selk's book. So Dr. Selk wrote a book called Relentless Solution Focus. And that's one that a lot of people, I think more people should talk about. It's about overcoming some of the anxiousness and that stuck feeling. How do we get into that peak performance? How do we how do we just kind of be a solution machine and just be able to go through obstacles and challenges? And he has kind of a whole format for that. And Dr. Selk was the peak performance coach of the St. Louis Cardinals when they won a World Series. And I'm from St. Louis. He's like a St. Louis guy too. So that's kind of that I call that a hidden gem that not a lot of people have heard about that I really enjoyed. It was really impactful.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on Taking Back Monday, Jim. We have enjoyed talking to you and looking forward to saying goodbye to the Sunday Scaries.
Thanks, guys.